Rumors are that allegedly Andy was caught being a fake friend to Kandi. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about. And it centers around rumors that allegedly Kandi may have finally found out that Andy is being a fake friend. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more. And here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Andy Cohen was being a fake friend towards Kandi. The source said, allegedly Andy has been talking out of both sides of his neck in regards to Kandi's departure at Real Housewives of Atlanta. Andy allegedly knew that Kandi would automatically leave the show if one of her major stipulations was not honored. Andy did nothing to stop this, said the source, so to act shocked when Kandi decided to leave the franchise was the ultimate snake move. The source continued, behind the scenes, rumors of a backstabbing move by producers leaked. Kandi allegedly found out about it and decided to part ways with the franchise. And that, coupled with the fact that Kandi was being kept in the dark about her contract, were enough for her team to back her decision. So, what was the snake move? Well, allegedly, production was courting Phaedra hard all during season 15 filming to rejoin the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise for season 16. Many couldn't believe that production would do such a thing towards Kandi, said the source. Also, bringing Phaedra back would be a huge liability for the franchise, but they seemed desperate at the time. For now, Kandi has expressed how shocked she was that Andy even cared so much about her leaving, considering how distant he had become towards her. After that admission by Kandi in an interview, fans pointed out that this seems like to be the ultimate backstabbing play by Andy that proves that they are really just fake friends. Now, kinfolk, this is some information that came across my desk this week in regarding Kandi and her departure from Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, I'm not shocked at this information at all. And the reason why I'm not shocked about this information is because if you have been paying attention, housewives don't really just break from a franchise so smooth, right? It's always something in the background that is happening that we are not privy to. And the other reason why I'm not shocked about this news is this. You know, we all know how Kandi feels about her businesses and how she feels about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Real Housewives of Atlanta is that anchor, that foundation in which Kandi can launch her many businesses and many projects from. So when Kandi announced that she would be leaving, all the fans thought that, hey, this doesn't seem right. But maybe Kandi really is just tired and has too much on her plate. But when Carlos King when Carlos King said on his own podcast that housewives just don't leave the franchise. They're either fired or let go, but always given the option to say they left on their own accord to pursue other projects. Now, for Kandi, that's not really a stretch because we all know, again, Kandi does have a lot of projects in play outside of Real Housewives of Atlanta. However, Kandi is also a businesswoman. So no matter how long it took them to let her know that she was coming back or not, it seems as if Kandi would have waited until that final decision was made. Which leads me to the next part of this rumor that I can see as being somewhat factual. And it's this. It was revealed that allegedly production was trying to get Phaedra back on the show as early as season 15 in order to be on the show for season 16. And I really do feel like this is why Kandi broke in her waiting for them to offer her a contract for season 16. Kandi probably knew, as the sources were saying, that they were trying to court Phaedra to come back and film for season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that they probably were holding up her contract until they figure out what Phaedra was going to do. Now, we all know that the ratings have not been their best. And Kandi probably figured that, hey, they're trying to do anything they can do to get those ratings back up. And Kandi probably figured out that we're not going to do that on her back or at her expense or at the expense of her many businesses. So for Andy to act shocked was very surprising that he did not know Kandi was about to leave, because he is very he's very well placed in the production team and the production of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if these talks were allegedly happening, then Andy would be one of the people to know this. And if that stipulation that Kandi allegedly has with the production team was not being honored, then he ultimately had the opportunity to put a pause in and said, no, we value Kandi over bringing Phaedra back. But the fact that he did not do that, it really goes to show you that, he is not this really close, good friend that we all like to believe that he is with Kandi. And that a lot of Kandi's spinoff shows probably came from the upper executives and not really from the grace or admiration from Andy. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that I do find very interesting, and it again has to do with Kandi and Andy's relationship, and it's this. When Kandi made the admission that she was shocked that Andy was surprised or cared so much about her leaving the franchise, really goes to show you that Andy has become very distant and very cut off from his Housewives franchises. How do you act surprised about a housewife leaving? Or how do you want us to believe that you are really close to these housewives when one of your biggest housewives on your longest run, or one of your longest running franchises, feels like you don't care about her or her feelings or her placement on the show? And so I think that also had a lot to do with Kandi leaving. It's like kind of like that fakeness of it all, right? And it's kind of like, if you don't want me here, say you don't want me here. But don't do any backstabbing moves to try to get me to quit without you just telling me flat out you don't want me a part of the franchise anymore. And that's why I think sources are believing that Andy really is a fake friend towards Kandi. But in honesty, is he even really a friend to any of the ladies outside of Giselle and maybe I really can't even say that, but outside of Giselle, really, because all the other ladies have been fired or let go in some capacity. So with that being said, it really shows that Andy does not have this connection with the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast, which may be a part of the issue why they're struggling to find their footing. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor, I think we all can agree on, and it has to do with Kandi ultimately just leaving the franchise, whether, it was alleged snake moves been happening behind the scenes or not. And it's this. It seems as if Kandi just really stood on business with her departure from Real Housewives of Potomac. And who can blame? Real Housewives of Atlanta. And who can blame her, right? She stood on business and she said, look, I have all these multiple projects coming on, and I cannot allow you all to hold me up from investing and pursuing these other projects that's going to bring in more opportunities and more financial stability for me and my family. So in that aspect, Kandi stood on business. She stood on her own personal business, as a matter of fact. The second thing that the second way Kandi stood on business was, if you were to believe the rumors that the production company was trying to get Phaedra to come back to the show, she stood on business that I'm not going to film with her because she has caused so much damage to my reputation and to my brand that in some ways were irreversible. And Kandi is now a much more successful businesswoman than she was when Phaedra was on the show. So now she has way more things to lose if Phaedra ever tried to pull those stunts again. And Kandi probably also know how desperate the production team is to get those numbers up. So they might even give some leeway to Phaedra poking at Kandi and her businesses once again. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. Now, this is all alleged information and speculation. But if you are to believe that Kandi admitting that she was shocked that Andy even cared about her leaving as a admission that Andy has been a fake friend to Kandi, do you think it's because he really wants to bring Phaedra back and was trying to push Kandi out? Or do you think that Andy has just simply become so distant and cut off from his Housewives franchises that he probably is like that with all of the ladies across all franchises? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.